بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم إني أسألك برحمتك التي وسعت كل شيء وبقوتك التي قهرت بها كل شيء وخضع لها كل شيء وذل لها كل شيء وبجبروتك التي غلبت بها كل شيء وبعزتك التي لا يقوم لها شيء وبعظمتك التي ملأت كل شيء وبسلطانك الذي على كل شيء وبوجهك الباقي بعد فناء كل شيء وبأسمائك التي ملأت أركان كل شيء وبعلمك الذي أحاط بكل شيء وبنور وجهك الذي أضاله كل شيء يا نور يا قدوس يا أول الأولين ويا آخر الآخرين اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تحتك العصام اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تنزل النقام اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تغير النعام اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تحبس الدعاء اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تنزل البلاء اللهم اغفر لي كل ذنب أذنبته وكل خطيئة أخطأتها اللهم إني أتقرب إليك بذكرك واستشفع بك إلى نفسك وأسألك بجودك أن تدنيني من قربك وأن توزعني شكرك وأن تلحمني ذكرك اللهم إني أسألك سؤال خاضع متذلل خاشع أن تصامحني وترحمني وتجعلني بقسمك راضيا قانعا وفي جميع الأحوال متواضعا اللهم وأسألك سؤال من اشتدت فاقته وأنزل بك عند الشدائد حاجته وعظم فيما عندك رغبته اللهم عظم سلطانك وعلى مكانك وخفي مكرك وظهر أمرك وغلب قهرك وجرت قدرتك ولا يمكن الفرار من حكومتك اللهم لا أجد لذنوبي غافرا ولا لقبائحي ساترا ولا لشيء من عملي القبيح بالحسن مبدلا غيرك لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك وبحمدك ظلمت نفسي وتجرأت بجهلي وسكنت إلى قديم ذكرك لي ومنك علي اللهم مولاي كم من قبيح سترت وكم من فادهم من البلاء أقلتا، وكم من عثار وقيتا، وكم من مكروه دفعتا، وكم من ثناء جميل لست أهلا له نشرتا. اللهم عظم بلائي وأفرت بي سوء حالي، وقسرت بي أعمالي. وقعدت بي أغلالي، وحبسني عن نفعي بعد آمالي، وخدعتني الدنيا بغرورها، ونفسي بجنايتها. ومطالي يا سيدي فأسألك بعزتك ألا يحجب عنك دعائي سوء عملي وفعالي، ولا تفضحني بخفي ما اطلعت عليه من سري، ولا تعاجلني بالعقوبة على ما عملته في خلواتي من سوء فعلي وإساءتي ودوام تفريطي وجهالتي وكثرة شهواتي وغفلتي. وكن اللهم بعزتك لي في كل الأحوال رؤوفا، وعلي في جميع الأمور عطوفا. إلهي وربي من لي غيرك، أسأله كشف ضري والنذر في أمري. إلهي ومولاي أجريت علي حكما اتبعت فيه هوى نفسي، ولم أحترس فيه من تزيين عدوي، فغرني بما أهوى وأسعده على ذلك قضاؤه. فتجاوزت بما جرى علي من ذلك بعد حدودك، وخالفت بعد أوامرك، فلك الحمد علي في جميع ذلك، ولا حجة لي فيما جرى عليه فيه قضاؤك. والزمني حكمك وبلاؤك، وقد أتيتك يا إلهي بعد تقصيري وإسرافي على نفسي، معتذرا نادما منكسرا مستقيلا، مستغفرا منيبا، مقرا مذعنا معترفا. لا أجد مفرا مما كان مني، ولا مفزعا أتوجه إليه في أمري غير قبولك عذري، وإدخالك إياي في سعة من رحمتك. اللهم فاقبل عذري، وارحم شدة ضري، وفكني من شد وثاقي. يا رب ارحم ضعف بدني، ورقة جلدي ودقة عظمي. يا من بدأ خلقي وذكري وتربيتي وبري وتغذيتي، هبني لابتداء كرمك وسالف برك بي يا إلهي وسيدي وربي. أتراك معذبي بنارك بعد توحيدك، وبعد من ترى عليه من قلبي من معرفتك، ولهج به لساني من ذكرك، واعتقده ضميري من حبك، وبعد صدق اعترافي ودعائي خاضئا لربوبيتك، هيهات أنت أكرم من أن تضيع من ربيت، أو تبعد من أدنيت، أو تشرد من آويت، أو تسلم إلى البلاء من كفيته ورحمت. وليت شعري يا سيدي وإلهي ومولاي أتسلط النار على وجوه خرت لعظمتك صاجدا، وعلى ألسن نطقت بتوحيدك صادقا وبشكرك ماضحا، وعلى قلوب اعترفت بإلهيتك محققا، وعلى ضمائر هوت من العلم بك حتى صارت خاشعة، وعلى جوارح سعت إلى أوطان تعبدك طائعا، وأشارت باستغفارك مذعنا. ما هكذا ظن بك، ولا أخبرنا بفضلك عنك يا كريم يا رب، وأنت تعلم ضعفي عن قليل من بلاء الدنيا وعقوباتها، وما يجري فيها من المكاره على أهلها، على أن ذلك بلاء ومكروه، قليل مكثور، يسير بقاء، قصير مدته. فكيف احتمالي لبلاء الآخرة وجليل وقوع المكاره فيها، وهو بلاء تطول مدته ويدوم مقامه ولا يخفف عن أهله، لأنه لا يكون إلا عن غضبك وانتقامك وسخطك، وهذا ما لا تقوم له السماوات والأرض. يا سيدي فكيف لي وأنا عبدك الضعيف الذليل الحقير المسكين المستكين. يا إلهي وربي وسيدي ومولاي، لأي الأمور إليك أشكو، ولما منها أذج وأبكي، لأليم العذاب وشدته أم لطول البلاء ومدته. فلئن سيرتني للعقوبات مع أعدائك وجمعت بيني وبين أهل بلائك وفرقت بيني وبين أحبائك وأوليائك، فهبني يا إلهي وسيدي ومولاي وربي. صبرت على عذابك فكيف أصبر على فراقك، وهبني صبرت على حر نارك فكيف أصبر عن النظر إلى كرامتك، أم كيف أسكن في النار ورجائي أفوك. فبعزتك يا سيدي ومولاي أقسم صادقا لئن تركتني ماتقا لأذجن إليك بين أهلها ذجيج الآملين، ولا أصرخن إليك صراخ المستصرخين، ولا أبكين عليك بكاء الفاقدين، ولا أنادينك أين كنت يا ولي المؤمنين، يا غاية آمال العارفين، يا غياث المستغيثين، يا حبيب قلوب الصادقين، ويا إله العالمين. أفتراك سبحانك يا إلهي وبحمدك تسمع فيها صوت عبد مسلم سجن فيها بمخالفته وذاق طعم عذابها ومعصيته، وحبس بين أطباقها بجرمه وجريرته، وهو يذج إليك ذجيج مؤمل لرحمتك، ويناديك بلسانك أهل توحينك، ويتوسل إليك بربوبيتك. يا مولاي فكيف يبقى في العذاب وهو يرجو ما سلف من حلمك؟ أم كيف تؤلمه النار وهو يأمل فضلك ورحمتك؟ أم كيف يحرقه لهيبها وأنت تسمع صوته وترى مكانه؟ أم كيف يشتمل عليه زفيرها وأنت تعلم ضعفا؟ أم كيف يتقلقل بين أطباقها وأنت تعلم صدقا؟ أم كيف تشجره زبانيتها وهو يناديك يا ربا؟ أم كيف يرجو فضلك في عتقه منها فتتركه فيها؟ هيهات ما ذلك الذن بك، ولا المعروف من فضلك، ولا مشبه لما عاملت به الموحدين من برك وإحسانك. فباليقين أعطاه له لا ما حكمت به من تعذيب جاهديك، وقذيت به من إخلاد معانديك، لجعلت النار كلها بردا وسلاما، وما كان لأحد فيها مقرا ولا مقاما، لكنك تقدست أسماؤك، أقسمت أن تملأها من الكافرين من الجنة والناس أجمعين، وأن تخلد فيها المعاندين، وأن تجل ثناؤك قلت مبتدئا، وتتولت بالإنعام متكرما. أفمن كان مؤمنا كمن كان فاسقا لا يستوون. إلهي وسيدي، فأسألك بالقدرة التي قدرتها وبالقضية التي حتمتها وحكمتها وغلبت من عليه أجريتها، أن تهب لي في هذه الليلة وفي هذه الساعة كل جرم أجرمته، وكل ذنب أذنبت، وكل قبيح أصررت، وكل جهل عملت، وكل وكل جهل عملت، كتمته أو أعلنت، أخفيته أو أظهرت، وكل سيئة أمرت بإثباتها الكرام الكاتبين الذين وكلتهم بحفظ ما يكون مني، وجعلتهم شهودا علي مع جواره، وكنت أنت الرقيب علي من ورائهم والشاهد لما خفي عنهم، وبرحمتك أخفيت وبفضلك سترت، وأن توفر حظي من كل خير أنزلت، أو إحسان فضلت، أو بر نشرت، أو رزق بسطت، أو ذنب تغفر، أو خطأ تستر. يا ربي يا ربي يا رب، يا إلهي وسيدي ومولاي ومالك رقي، يا من بيده ناصيتي، يا عليما بذري ومسكنتي، يا خبيرا بفقري وفاقتي، يا ربي يا ربي يا رب، أسألك بحقك وقدسك وأعظم صفاتك وأسمائك أن تجعل أوقاتي من الليل والنهار بذكرك معمورة وبخدمتك موصولة وأعمالي عندك مقبولة، حتى تكون أعمالي وأورادي كلها وردا واحدا، وحالي في خدمتك سرمدا. يا سيدي يا من عليه معولي، يا من إليه شكوت أحوالي، يا ربي يا ربي يا رب، قو على خدمتك جوارحي، واشدد علي العزيمة الجوانح، وهب لي الجد في خشيتك والدوام في الاتصال بخدمتك، حتى أسرها إليك في الميادين السابقين، وأسرع إليك في المبادرين، وأشتاق إلى قربك في المشتاقين، وأدنو منك ذنو المخلصين، وأخافك مخافة الموقنين، واجتمع في جوارك مع المؤمنين. اللهم ومن أرادني بسوء فأرد، ومن كادني فكذ، واجعلني من أحسن عبيدك نسيبا عندك، وأقربهم منزلة منك، وأخصهم زلفة لديك، فإنه لا ينال ذلك إلا بفضلك. وجد لي بجودك، وعتف علي بمجدك، واحفظني برحمتك، واجعل لساني بذكرك لهجا، وقلبي بحبك مطيما، ومن عليك بحسن إجابتك، وأقلني عثرتي، واغفر زلتي، فإنك قضيت على عبادك بعبادتك، وأمرتهم بدعائك، وذمنت لهم الإجابة. فإليك يا رب نسبت وجهي، وإليك يا رب مددت يدي، فبعزتك استجب لي دعائي، وبلغني منى، ولا تقطع من فضلك رجائي، واكفني شر الجن والإنس من أعدائي. يا سريع الرضا اغفر لمن لا يملك إلا الدعاء، فإنك فعال لما تشاء. يا من اسمه دواء، وذكره شفاء، وطاعته غنى. ارحم من رأس ماله الرجاء، وسلاحه البكاء. يا سابغ النعم يا دافع النقام يا نور المستوحشين في الظلام يا عالما لا يعلم صل على محمد وآل محمد وافعل بي ما أنت أهله وصلى الله على رسوله والأئمة الميامين من آله وسلم تسليما كثيرا. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن أمير المؤمنين وإمام المتقين عليا ولي الله. أشهد أن أمير المؤمنين وإمام المتقين عليا حجة الله. حي على الصلاة الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل الله أكبر والله أكبر لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن عليا ولي الله أشهد أن عليا أمير المؤمنين وأولاده المعصومين حجج الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله إني وجهت وجهي للذي فطر السماوات والأرض حنيفا وما أنا من المشركين الله أكبر بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر الله أكبر سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر بحول الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. كذلك الله ربنا. الله أكبر. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. ربنا أفرغ علينا صبرا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. الحمد لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وتقبل شفاعته في أمته وارفع درجته بحول الله. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. يا لطيف ارحم عبدك الضعيف. الله أكبر. بسم الله بالله والحمد لله كما هو أهله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على पानी بسم الله أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن عليا ولي الله أشهد أن عليا حجة الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره المشركون الله أكبر بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. بحول الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. كذلك الله ربنا. الله أكبر. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. الحمد لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد بحول الله. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. بحول الله. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم واحشرنا معهم أجمعين. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد يا لطيف ارحم عبدك الضعيف. الله أكبر. بسم الله بالله والحمد لله كما هو أهله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ياسين والقرآن الحكيم إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم تنزيل العزيز الرحيم لتنذر قوم ما أنذر آباؤهم فهم غافلون لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون إنا جعلنا في أعناقهم أغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان فهم مقمحون وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فأغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون وسواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون إنما تنذر من اتبع الذكر وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشره بمغفرة وأجر كريم إنا نحن نحيي الموتى ونكتب ما قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين وضرب لهم مثلا أصحاب القرية إذ جاءها المرسلون إذ أرسلنا إليهم اثنين فكذبوهما فعززنا بثالث فقالوا إنا إليكم مرسلون قالوا ما أنتم إلا بشر مثلنا وما أنزل الرحمن من شيء إن أنتم إلا تكذبون قالوا ربنا يعلم إنا إليكم لمرسلون وما علينا إلا البلاغ المبين قالوا إنا تطيرنا بكم لئن لم تنتهوا لنرجمنكم وليمسنكم منا عذاب أليم قالوا طائركم معكم أئن ذكرتم بل أنتم قوم مسرفون وجاء من أقصى المدينة رجل يسعى قال يا قوم اتبعوا المرسلين اتبعوا من لا يسألكم أجرا وهم مهتدون وما لي لا أعبد الذي فطرني وإليه ترجعون أأتخذ من دونه آلهة إن يردن الرحمن بضر لا تغني عني شفاعتهم شيئا ولا ينقذون إني إذا لفي ضلال مبين إني آمنت بربكم فاسمعون قيل ادخل الجنة قال يا ليت قومي يعلمون بما غفر لي ربي وجعلني من المكرمين وما أنزلنا على قومه من بعده من جند من السماء وما كنا منزلين إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم خامدون يا حسرة على العباد ما يأتيهم من رسول إلا كانوا به يستهزئون ألم يروا كم أهلكنا قبلهم من القرون أنهم إليهم لا يرجعون وإن كل لما جميع لدينا محضرون وآية لهم الأرض الميتة أحييناها وأخرجنا منها حبا فمنه يأكلون وجعلنا فيها جنات من نخيل وعناب وفجرنا فيها من العيون ليأكلوا من ثمره وما عملته أيديهم أفلا يشكرون سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كلها مما تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم ومما لا يعلمون وآية لهم الليل نسلخ منه النهار فإذا هم مظلمون والشمس تجري لمستقر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم والقمر قدرناها منازل حتى عاد كالعرجون القديم لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا ليل سابق النهار وكل في فلق يسبحون وآية لهم أنا حملنا ذريتهم في الفلق المشحون وخلقنا لهم من مثله ما يركبون وإن نشاء نغرقهم فلا صريخ لهم ولا هم ينقذون إلا رحمة منا ومتاعا إلى حين وإذا قيل لهم اتقوا ما بين أيديكم وما خلفكم لعلكم ترحمون وما تأتيهم من آية من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين وإذا قيل لهم أنفقوا مما رزقكم الله قال الذين كفروا للذين آمنوا أنطعم من لو يشاء الله أطعمه إن أنتم إلا في ضلال مبين ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين ما ينظرون إلا صيحة واحدة تأخذهم وهم يخصمون فلا يستطيعون توصية ولا إلى أهلهم يرجعون ونفخ في السور فإذا هم من الأجداث إلى ربهم ينسلون قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم جميع لدينا محضرون فاليوم لا تظلم نفس شيئا ولا تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون إن أصحاب الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون هم وأزواجهم في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون لهم فيها فاكهة ولهم ما يدعون سلام قول من رب رحيم وامتازوا اليوم أيها المجرمون ألم أحد إليكم يا بني آدم أن لا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدون هذا صراط مستقيم ولقد أضل منكم جبلا كثيرا أفلم تكونوا تعقلون هذه جهنم التي كنتم توعدون اصلوها اليوم بما كنتم تكفرون اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون ولو نشاء لطمسنا على أعينهم فاستبقوا الصراط فأنى يبصرون ولو نشاء لمسخناهم على مكانتهم فما استطاعوا مضيا ولا يرجعون ومن نعمره ننقصه في الخلق أفلا يعقلون وما علمناه شعر وما ينبغي له إن هو إلا ذكر وقرآن مبين لينذر من كان حيا ويحق القول على الكافرين أولم يروا أنا خلقنا لهم مما عملت أيدينا أنعاما فهم لها مالكون وذللناها لهم فمنها ركوبهم ومنها يأكلون ولهم فيها منافع ومشارب أفلا يشكرون واتخذوا من دون الله آلهة لعلهم ينصرون لا يستطيعون نصرهم وهم لهم جند محضرون فلا يحزنك قولهم إنا نعلم ما يسرون وما يعلنون أولم يرى الإنسان أنا خلقناه من نطفة فإذا هو خصيم مبين وضرب لنا مثلا ونسي خلقه قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم قل يحييها الذي أنشأها أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم الذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأخضر نارا فإذا أنتم منه توقدون أوليس الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بقادر على أن يخلق مثلهم بلى وهو الخلاق العليم إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون فسبحان الذي بيده ملكوت كل شيء وإليه ترجعون. صلى الله عليه محمد وآله. سورة المباركة الفاتحة.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Brother Hussein Charara, respected elders, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sir Fatah is requested for the Salat Sawab of the marhumin listed on the screen and for all marhumin. Al-Fatiha. Ayamun Najibu is requested for the names listed on the screen and for all those in need here and elsewhere. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه يكشف السوء 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 أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه يكشف السوء. Volunteering opportunities are available at Masjid Hayy as our annual open invitation to all community members and the committee leaders and members to discuss and renew their commitment to their respective committees. Please refer to the email sent with more information. We look forward to seeing our community members sign up. The Muharram Safar Fund. The months of Muharram and Safar are approaching, and as with previous years, we plan to have niyaz for all 12 nights, including Ashura Day, as well as the significant nights throughout the 2 months. We request all who will be attending the masjid or watching the lectures online to make a donation towards these programs. Any amount is welcomed. To make a contribution, please contact Brother Murtaza Kareem or Sister Batul Muki. Muharram programs. The Muharram program will start this Monday, August 9th, as per the moon sighting. The daily program will begin with niyaz at 7:30 p.m., followed by the recitation of the Holy Quran and Maghribain Salah. We will then have Mursia, the lectures at 9 p.m., and conclude with Matam Ziyarat. Ladies program. The ladies program will be held here starting Tuesday, August 10th, daily at 2:30 p.m. from Saturday to Thursday, and at 3 p.m. on Fridays. The majlis will be recited by Zakira Askari Hirji. Youth Blood Drive. The youth will also be hosting the annual blood drive on Saturday, August 14th from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. inshallah. Sign-up details will be sent in this coming Muharram email, or you can go to the link on the screen. Adopt a Park Cleanup. Please join us as we visit our adopted park, Lee P. Moore Park, for our next visit on Sunday, August 8th. This will be for our quarterly commitment to maintain and clean it in the name of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. We will be meeting there from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. To register, please go to the website shown on the screen. Elementary School Scholarships. The WISE Academy is excited to announce a new donor-funded grant which offers full and partial scholarships for eligible students enrolling in grades 1 to 5 for the 2021-2022 school year. For more information, email or call us using the information on the screen. At this time, I would like to invite Brother Hussein Charara to start his interactive session with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. All praise be to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. May His peace and blessings be on our beloved Prophet and His immaculate Ahlul Bayt. Salawat. So I made a decision today. I'm going to be speaking for the nights during Muharram, but I do a lot of counseling, and it's constant, and I find it humbling when you meet somebody for the first time and they sit with you for 5 minutes and they just tell you everything about their life and they trust you. But like today, you just deal with issues of where you're trying to help with somebody who holds on to resentment, and then they carry that resentment to her daughter, and then her daughter is now having anxiety saying, why is my mom not happy with me? So one thing that I encourage everybody is set your boundaries. Know when it's time for you to give, and know when it's time for you to take time for yourself. And that's one thing that I'm really going to be careful with, especially during these nights, because it's hard to be happy when somebody's grieving so much, and especially when you're going through anxiety and depression. How many of you believe that your thoughts have something to do with your future? Do you truly, if you truly believe that, as the prophets, the imams, and now the scientists have told us, that it's all connected? A thought gives a feeling gives a perception gives you a vision, that vision now manifests itself in the 3D world. So if you truly believe your thoughts have something to do with your future, how many of you woke up actively right before you prayed for Salat al-Fajr, right before you recited Surah Yasin, right before you recited Dua Kamal, that you thought about what you were thinking about and what you were about to do? See, one of the things about the message of Imam Hussain alayhi salam is a lot of times years would go by and we're keeping up with the outside obligations of commemorating the shahadat of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. But I wonder how much of the inner dimensions of his message has been veiled. And the scholars have told us, just look at the community, see how much the community has changed. And that will tell you if they've taken the message of Imam Hussain. And very revered scholars said it's not happening. The outer dimension is, but the inner dimension. So that's what we're going to talk about. How do we make sure that the message of Imam Hussain goes in within our inner soul? Because it could be on the last day of your life, and that salvation, that ark, could save you in the next world. So how do we make sure we're there? And we're going to talk about that. We're going to show a video, and then we're going to meditate. We're going to pray. The meditation that we're going to do today is the same one. We just did a 2-week camp at Camp Taha, and it was interesting. For me, I'm just blown away with the ziyarats, the du'as, and the meditations that we have when somebody is going through depression, somebody has a brain tumor, somebody has a cancer, and through one prayer to Allah, it's gone. And I'm blown away by it. And the more that we do it, the more that we see the results, and the more I've developed a community of healers. And we're training them, and I'm teaching them the power of du'as and how to become so heart coherent. We're at the last one that we did. There was a lady, we did du'a mashlul, and there was a lady who we had them lay down. So we did a prayer, a meditation, and then we had them lay down. And two ladies that were sitting next to each other felt the presence of the Imam. The lady felt this strong presence, and then they got up, and then they gave a testimonial. Because when you see a testimonial, you see this as possibility. And she said, I felt so much love in the presence of Allah. I have severe vertigo, and we have the testimonial on video. I have severe vertigo. I haven't been able to lay down in 15 years. I can't take MRIs. I cannot sleep unless I'm elevated. And you told us to lay down. I forgot that I had vertigo. I laid down for 25 minutes. I got up and I realized that I just did this. And that's the side effect. We don't do healings and prayers for people to heal them out of the brain tumors or to heal them to wake up from a coma, even though that's happened. That's the side effect. All we're doing is for them to feel the presence of Allah. And then you get a biological upgrade. But if your thoughts keep having the same ideas as you did yesterday, and you prayed the same exact way as you did the day before, and you got angry the same way as you did the day before, and you got mad because your wife didn't cook it a specific way, and you got mad at your kids because they broke a vase, and you got angry at your husband because you're just used to it, and you keep having those same thoughts, and then 10 years go by and people don't see you smiling. Because one thing that I'm noticing is within the older generation, because of watching so much news and media, I don't see them smile. I don't see them happy. Imam Ali would smile on the battlefield. The Prophet would make jokes to the point that people would laugh so hard. When is the last time you laughed and you felt that joy? Well, how could you if you keep doing the same things over and over and over again? Unfortunately, Muharram has become like that, where we cry the same way over and over, but we leave and we're the same person because we haven't decided to make a choice that's different than the day before, because there's too much resistance. Let everybody else change. Let my wife change. Let my kids change. Let my teacher change. This case I'm dealing with right now. She wants her daughter to change. I was like, you change. It's not your daughter that's the problem, it's you. But the ego gets in the way. Imam Hussein gave his life for us to destroy this ego. And that's what this message is about today. So I want you to go on a journey with me. Just let go of any beliefs that you have. Any objections, just let it go. Anything that you have, come to me after. For me, my background, the scholars that I follow very closely are Sheikh Sakalashwar, Sheikh Shomali, Sheikh Bahmanpur. And you know Sakalashwar and Shomali are direct reps of Khamenei. And these are the people that I've taken courses under, that I watch daily. And these are the scholars that it would be hard for me to speak if not for them, because they built the principles for me to make sure I don't say something that may take you away from Allah. So I stick to what I know. So when you put attention to what you are doing, we naturally get better results. True or false? True. If you want to be a better wife, give it attention. You want to be a better student, give it attention. Because wherever your attention goes, energy flows. You agree? Wherever you put your attention. I don't know how to live any other way. When somebody wakes up from a coma after we recite a dua, we gave it attention. I do it with everything. I was talking to Brother Anaya today. I do it with everything. And I'm going to give you some, and I have testimonials and we have the data. And eventually, just like the scientists do it, like Joe Dispenza, where they measure the brain and the heart, I want to do the same when somebody needs a healing or they're going through something, where we measure what happens to their heart and brain when we're reciting these du'as. Not the way where your mind is elsewhere, where you become present with Allah and then the dua is recited. What happens to your bodies? What happens to your genes? What happens to your heart? And it's fascinating. And I would love to measure that. And it's sad that we have scientists who are telling us things that we already have had for 1,400 years. But we have doubt in it, that these du'as do work. And I'd love to measure it. So wherever you put your attention, so today I was at Panera, and I said, Brother Knight, wherever you put your attention, if it's from the heart, Allah will answer, whatever it is. Because Allah says, I answer all the calls of the caller. Not the Muslim, the Jew, or the Christian, the caller. Shaitan called onto Allah, he got it. He got respite to the Day of Judgment. Donald Trump called onto Allah, said, I want to be president. Allah gave it to him. Everything is because of Allah. Good or bad. Because this world is base, it's dunya, it doesn't mean much. Allah would give the disbelievers everything they ask for. It's because of us we would become sad that He doesn't do that. Because this world means nothing. You came with nothing, you're going back with nothing. The biggest myth is thinking that you need the next iPhone, you need another 50 likes, you need 10,000 followers for you to feel good. You need to get married, you need to have children. You need something outside of you to feel whole. You came with nothing. Do you know why? You don't need anything. You're already enough. You're already supernatural. And the biggest trick that the corporate America world has played on you is that you need to buy something to feel better. And you need to do something. Where Allah says you don't need to do anything. It's already within you. And I'm within you, and I'm all around you. Learn how to tap into that. Now when you feel that presence of love, and now it's time for you to get married, you're already in love with Allah and yourself. Now you're not going to allow anybody to take that power away from you. And then you're going to attract somebody who matches the same energy. It's much different when you feel lack because somebody has abused you. Now you want to run to a relationship because you want to run away from home, and now that will make you feel better, and it does. But then eventually that thing that made you feel better, what if it turns onto you and it abuses you? Then what? That's where the depression, the suicide, that's where the addictions and all the other things come. So if we put our attention to what we are doing, we naturally get better results. They took 48 young people. They split them up in half. They told them 3 times a week, an hour a day for 10 weeks. This group, just know that you give this attention, that you're going to be in better shape after 10 weeks. And after 10 weeks, did they get in better shape? Yes. But that's all they told them. The other group, they told them same thing, and they did the same exercises. They said, this will help you get in better shape, which it did. But they gave them an extra. They said, this helps with your mental well-being. After 10 weeks, they measured. Both physical increased. But the group that was told their well-being is improved, they did self-esteem tests. All their self-esteem shot up. Their self-esteem stayed the same. So what was the only difference? They did the same workouts. The physical was exactly the same. It's what they gave attention to. So what are you giving attention to every day? That's why the blessing of Muharram, Imam Shahada, was for you to give attention to yourself so that you could change. Otherwise, you're going to always give things attention to the outside of you. And when you do that, nothing changes. Your reality is because of your personality. You're waiting for your personality not to change, but your reality to change to feel better. And that's the trick that Shaitan has played on you. That you need to get the job. You want your parents to give in. You want this person to say, I do, and then you'll feel better. Where Allah says, no, feel it within. Change yourself, and then your whole reality. Just today, I was at Panera Bread, and I was talking to Anayat about much deeper things in terms of the stuff that we do. Because the stuff that we do, I talk about now, it's stuff that I've been working on 3 years, 2 years, and I talk about it. Then there's other stuff that I'm working about now that, inshallah, I'll be talking about in the future. I said, just look, it's with anything and everything. It's not the doctor that heals you, it's Allah. But go to the doctor, but ask Allah. So look at this, I'm about to have a cup of coffee. I said, if I want, I'm just going to give it the attention that I could get, there's a possibility, because in your life, there's an infinite amount of possibilities. You could go to jail, You could go to ziyarat, you could go to Hajj, you could get married. Which ones will manifest? Whatever you put your attention to. That's the supernatural being that you are. So whatever it is. Now if you have negative people, that's why you have to be careful with bad friends. If you have a bad friend who's always gossiping, talking about other people, energy vampires, they're going to always make sure your attention is towards the wrong things. So I was talking to Anayat about this concept, and we go to Panera Bread. So Brother Anayat, this coffee, I was thinking, I'll get it for free. So we go there, and the lady asked me for my phone number. I gave it to her once, I gave it to her twice, 3 times. And on the 3rd time, she says, you know what, it's not working, you could have the coffee for free. I'm walking away, Anayat felt bad. He says, you know what, I still want to pay for it. And then he came, and I'm still smiling. He says, well, I paid for it. I know, but I still got the coffee for free. You paid for it. The question that you have to ask, would that have happened if I didn't think about it? If you think it's a coincidence, in Islam the scholars teach us there's no coincidence in Islam. 0. You being here is not a coincidence. One person in here is going to receive this message. That's the only reason what I'm doing it for. And I'm just blown away when kids come to me and they say, I had 150 missing assignments, I was going to drop out of school, and now I'm going into a top school college, just because I gave something else attention, just from a few tools that we give them. We're adults, we have about 200 adults where I do sessions every week with them, not during the summer. But then they come to me and said, you know, you saved my marriage, and now my husband's coming. And then the husband would look at me and say, who's this guy trying to talk to everybody? The ego would come out, and he says, after a couple of weeks, I realized that's possibility. But shaitan comes and gives us 1,000 reasons not to overcome ourselves. Everybody else should do it, but not me. I'm good enough. And that's when shaitan's really got you. If you read 40 hadith and read the way Imam Khomeini talks about himself, you would think he's a disbeliever. And he was probably the top scholar that we've had in the past 200 years. So who are we to say that we're good? We are nothing. It's all because of Allah, not because of you. It's not you that takes care of your kids. It's Allah. So we're going to talk about the inner aspects of Muharram. Allah says, indeed, Allah does not forgive associating others with Him in worship, but forgives anything else of whoever He wills. Whoever associates others with Allah is indeed committing a sin. Meaning, when you get an A in an exam, don't say it's you. You say, Alhamdulillah. What does that mean? All praises to Allah. Correct? When your parents buy you a car, you don't thank your parents first. It wasn't your parents that bought that car. Who was it? It was Allah. Everything that you have is because of Allah. Your heart is beating right now. Who's doing that for you? Is it your parents? Is it you? Imagine if you had to make sure your heart beats every time. You would all die. There's a greater intelligence doing that for you. When you get a broken arm, there's Brother Abbas, he's got a broken arm. It's in a sling. Why is it in a sling? Does he have to think about the bones healing? Or is there a greater intelligence doing it? That's Allah. You know what that is? That's love. That's mercy. Why would you go to anybody else other than Allah? That's why the angels ask, the imams, when they see people during Eid, asking people for money, the imams get shocked. Why are you asking people? Ask Allah. Especially on the day of Eid. Do you know why we don't do that? We truly don't believe in it. What do? I just show you possibility. I say, come on a ride for a month. You can't get into that nursing school? Come on this ride for a month. Your husband won't change? Come on this ride for a month. Just take a month where you're actually praying from the heart your prayers. Not the mechanical, not the outer, the inner. And if people go on the ride, every time they've changed. There's never been once. Because when you ask Allah, there's going to be change. So, Imam Hussein preserved Tawheed. If not for Imam Hussein, there would be no mosque here. Imam Hussein alayhi salam saved Islam. There would be no Islam. Even the Sunni school, our brothers, there wouldn't be. Because that came after Imam Hussein, from the Jafari school. People like Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, none, zero. People like Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, people who studied the life of Imam Hussein, you wouldn't be hearing about them. Look how Tawheed was preserved. First, Noah, Prophet Noah, built an ark, 200 years. Then he took his companions, 72 of them. For what? To save Tawheed. To save the oneness of Allah. Yunus being swallowed by a whale. Why? For Tawheed. Prophet Ibrahim being thrown in a fire. When he got thrown in a fire, did he ask the angels to help him? Did he ask people to help him? Who did he ask only? Allah. When the angels wanted to help him, what did he say? I don't need you. I have Allah. He'll protect me. When Prophet Musa ﷺ left Egypt, preserve Tawheed. When he went to go back, preserve Tawheed. See the way he talks to Allah. And he's worried. When I go back, Allah says, go. Don't worry. We're hearing, we're seeing, we'll take care of it. We'll tell you what to do. That's Tawheed. When Prophet Isa brought the bed back to life, when he saved him, Allah saved him from being crucified. That's preserving Tawheed. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was called the magician. From head to toe, he had blood on him. And he would go and pray for those people that threw rocks on him. Why? To preserve Tawheed. How about the silence of Imam Ali ﷺ when his right was taken away? For what reason? Tawheed, preserve it. And the Jews came to him and said, mocking him, your prophet just passed away and you guys are divided. And he looked at him, he says, Tawheed is still there. Prayer is still there. Fasting is still there. Go away. When his son, Imam Hussain ﷺ, had to sign a treaty, Tawheed, he had to drink poison. He knew it was poison. See, the outer aspects of Karbala, sometimes you hear the Imam committed suicide. He knew it was going to happen. Yes, he did know it was going to happen. Just like Imam Hussain ﷺ knew there was poison there. He knew, but it wasn't a suicide. Because he knew if he didn't take it, his life would have been taken instantly. And to preserve his life longer, he had to drink the poison. Or else, because that's a shortage, but there was no despair. That's why we have to be careful when we talk about such things, that we don't exaggerate things and we lose the message. Then when Imam Hussein ﷺ gave his life, it was to preserve Tawheed. That's it. So there's a famous story. This was about 600 years after the ghaibah of the last Imam. There was a northern Iraq. There was a person who was a governor. And these group would kill the Shia. They were known for that. The governor was not allowed, could not have children. His wife was barren. He made a nidhr, a vow. He told Allah, allow me to have a child, and I'll make sure he kills one of the Shia. That was his nidhr. Look at what Allah allowed him to have the child. The child grew older. And the mom goes to the child, you know the way we made a nidhr that you have to now go kill one of the Shia. So you have to go do it. And he was told the Shia are bad. So he says, okay. He says, where do I find them? He says, go to Karbala. They go every year. And just wait there and wait for a caravan. So he goes. And he waits 1 night, 2 nights. The 3rd night, a caravan is coming from distance. But he falls asleep. And this is a true story because he narrated this story years later. The caravan passed him by, and all this dust went on him. And then he had a dream, because he fell asleep. And the angels said, now we're throwing, it's the day of judgment, we're throwing those that wanted to go against Imam Hussein in the fire. So they throw him in the fire throws him back. The angels ask, why did you throw me back? Throw him back. It says, because he has the dust of Karbala on him. So they cleaned him, and they threw him back. And again, the fire threw him back out. Said, why? Because they said his dust reached the heart, and now he's protected. And he became a follower, and he became an alim of one event. This is a true story. When it reaches your heart, your life changes. You know, this is the Eid al-Mubahila, where the Christians saw them. They said, we cannot mess with these people. When people see you, do they feel that they can backbite in front of you? Say swear words in front of you? Talk about indecent things in front of you? That means it hasn't reached your heart yet. Because when it does, people will know. They just know. You're not to be played with. And that's when my life changed. In 2005, somebody goes, go to Muharram, go listen to this person speak. Because it hadn't reached my heart yet. And it still hasn't reached my heart. I still have such a long way to go. I said, no, I got to go out with my friends. And the irony is now I'm talking about this, and maybe this happened to you today. I said, I got to go to my friends. Fine, just go. I said, no. I sit down. I was at the gym. And I'm alone, and something whispered in my ear. And now I know it was an angel. And we know that this could happen. He said, you must go. There's something for you. I looked around and said, what was that? So I shut off my phone, and I go. And I was arrogant. I was an entrepreneur. I had money. I thought I had the world figured out, and I didn't know anything. But I did know, no matter what I put my hands in, nothing made me happy. So I went, and I sat all the way up at the mosque. And the person spoke for the first 20 minutes about how people cannot go and find out what's right and wrong for them. They need a higher being to tell them. They need Scripture. It pierced my heart. My life changed after that moment. To the point where I knew when I left I cannot have the same friends. And I prayed, Allah, take away all my friends that take me away from you. Because Allah, I want to find you, but I know I'm not going to find them with my bad friends. All my friends within a week were all gone. I became very sad and depressed. But I was intrigued by the speaker. So I said, Allah, bring me new friends that bring me closer to you. And the first friend was that speaker. And he later became my best friend. Anybody could guess his name? Hajj Hassan and Rajab Ali. We connected. Then we bought a camp. I said, Hajj, let's do a youth group. Let's do it. We did a youth group. It filled up. We would teach people how to pray, recite Quran. From there, parents said, why don't you do an after school? We started an after school program. We had 150 students, 180 on the waiting list. Parent comes in, why don't you start a school? I told the Hajj, they want us to start a school. I don't know anything about a school. He says, let's do it. We did istikhara. It came good. We did a school. And now we have other projects, and now we're here. The question I have for you is, if I didn't give that angel attention, do you think I'd be sitting here? Somebody else would. What are you giving attention to every day? I'm an example. My whole life took a different dimension. I don't care if you're 60 years old, 70 years old. I don't care what age. What is it when you were a child that you had a dream of? And why did you stop going after that dream? For what? to worship your kids, it's not you taking care of your kids. Go back to it. That way you're known to do something for the sake of Allah. How are you going to give back? To the point where then I'm now interviewing, I'm doing counseling, background is in cognitive behavioral science, I'm a practitioner. I'm now dealing with people with addiction, with cancer, I'm now doing healing. If somebody would have told me that back then, I would have said impossible. If somebody would have told me the meditations we're doing it 5 years ago, how did that happen? Parent comes to me, I'm interviewing the son. The parent says, you want to know what happened to me? I had 2 weeks to live. I wrote my will. We were planning the grave. I prayed to Abu Fadl Abbas. The next day it went away. The angels came, took it. And the nurses were like, where did it go? The doctor said, what happened? And the nurse was, you're like the third person in the past 2 months that this has happened to. And she started becoming intrigued. There's a person who came to Wise a year ago. Said, why are you interested in Islam? His name was an American name. He's changed his name to Shams. He took a Shahada at Wise. So I had a dream. I asked Allah, show me you. I'm lost. In his dream, he heard the adhan. He didn't know what it is. He drove by and he heard this adhan. He went in and it was a mosque. And then somebody told him, go to Wise. He took Shahada and now he's bringing other people to come in through a dream. Pay attention to even your dreams. How do you know you're behaving better? Are you sinning in your dreams? Pay attention to them. But if you go to sleep paying attention to your iPhone, there's du'as to recite that you could have clear dreams. Do wudu. Recite the 4 quls. Then dream with attention and dream that you're going to wake up remembering your dreams. Just try it for a few days. You'll be fascinated what Allah shows you. This is the last words of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, some of the last words. He says, look at the bodies. He looked at the bodies of the loved ones. Tears flowed out of his eyes. He looked at the sky and seemed to draw some strength from an unseen source. Then he raised the call. This is the end. Is there anyone who will come to assist us? Is there anyone who will respond to our call for the aid? He returned to the direction and repeated it 4 times. Everybody already became shaheed. He's the last one. Who is he talking to? Us. Us. During these 10 nights when they come, and then the 40 nights after, every night make a nidr, make a vow. Because every time you cry for Imam Hussein, all your sins are forgiven. But it's not about forgiveness. It's when you leave those doors and you cry, make a vow, this is one thing I'm going to change about myself. Because you cry, then I see the same person gets cut off by somebody, they're beeping at them. They pick up their phone and they're still complaining and arguing. That means it hasn't reached the heart. We have scholars who would look at non-Muslims and say, that's a follower of Imam Ali. It was a non-Muslim. It reached their heart. We have the best message, and we still bicker and complain. It hasn't reached the heart. And these 10 nights are a special gift. And every night talk to somebody and say, this is one thing I'm going to improve. Keep overcoming, overcoming, overcoming. And yes, it's hard to change. Look, it's a masjid. Out of respect to the masjid, I won't talk about certain things, but the addictions that are out there through when they go on the internet, when they go and do other things, it's tough. The divorce rates are at 60%. Make a nidr, I'm going to stop doing these things. But the only way is how I had to do it for the sake of you, Allah. And then you have a vision of the future. Allah, help me get to this future. And I make a nidr, I'm going to stop doing this. And Allah, every time I do it, I'm going to pay $10 charity. There's a brother who I told this to. I said, every time you do it, you have to pay $10. There's an act that he was doing. I said, you have to give charity. A month goes by, in my Zelle account, I see $400. I said, brother, what is this? He says, well, he told me to do this a month ago. It's $400 this month. The next month was $200. After that, it was gone. Sometimes when you put money as a nidr, every time you yell at your wife, or every time you complain about something that you know you shouldn't, make a nidr. We have this in the Quran. It's a vow. Skip this. We talked about this. Okay, what I want to do is I'm going to show this video. It's a really quick video. If we could play it, Abbas.
Go ahead, put it up.
And I just want to show you how does the message of resentment. When I was alone with my kid, nobody helped me. And that resentment is poison. But as soon as she let go of that resentment, abundance came. And that's the key. Yes, you could find 100 reasons not to help people. They may have hurt you. Then what is the story of the Prophet ﷺ? When all those people hurt him, and he goes back to Mecca, and he says, I free you all. No resentment. Imam Hussein ﷺ, every day he's talking to Ibn Sa'ad. What are you doing? You know me. Shimr fought for the walayat of Imam Ali with him in one of the battles. But his body took over. He prayed Salat al-Layl. He recited Quran. He ended up beheading our beloved Imam because he held on to resentment. If you hold on even to a little bit, you'll always look for reasons not to do such things. So then what's the point of your tears for Imam Hussein? So if there's anybody that you need to forgive, or anything that you need to do with yourself, make a nidr, a vow, and say, enough. And if you notice that you keep living the same life, make a prayer, Allah, show me something to do that's better. Give me an opportunity. And that's what I feel. I could share so many stories of people that we've helped, just simply giving their attention to something greater, tapping into Allah, and they go from being broke to having abundance of money. They go from a toxic relationship to deep, meaningful relationships. They go from unhealthy body to a healthy body. But the key is not that. The key is where you go back to Allah well pleased. That's the key. How do you know for sure you're going to go back to Allah well pleased? What are you going to do tomorrow that's a little bit different than today? When you see opportunities like this. Because you don't realize when you help one person, it's all connected. There's a person who had a flat tire, the guy pulled over, he had a job interview. And I'll end with this. And he had a job interview. And he knew he was going to be late at his interview, but he sees this older lady. He says, you know what, I got to help her. Nobody else is helping her. So he stops, he helps her. And it takes him about an hour. He gets to his appointment an hour late. He gets there, he says, I'm sorry, I had an interview. I know I'm an hour late. He goes in, and the lady goes, it's no problem, she'll still take you in. He goes to sit down, being interviewed by this lady who's would be his boss. And who is it? It's the same lady who he changed the tire for. There's an opportunity that you think, oh, I don't have time to do this, or it's okay, or I got it. No, if you do something for your greater self, Allah can reward you instantly. So if you're backbiting people, if you're doing anything behind your parents' back, stop. Tell them, they'll understand. Because if they want forgiveness from Allah, they have to forgive you. If they want compassion from Allah, they have to show you compassion. Don't hold any fear. I see so many sisters who get in toxic relationships because they don't allow their parents to know, because they're scared of how their parents will judge them. And then the man abuses them because they know their parents are not watching them. Don't do that. I'm dealing with so much heartbreak within our Dearborn community. It's a weird trend that's going on. Don't. The brothers, same thing. Don't do anything. The same way you would behave if people were watching you, behave the same way with your friends. And everybody needs to evaluate that. The people who go to work, do you behave differently to your boss than you do with your wife? Or do you behave the same? Well, why? Then ask yourself, if you do behave differently, why? And change. Be consistent. What is religion? Religion is if you're consistent. You want to live life, meaningful relationships? You want to live life on your terms? Change a habit about yourself. Otherwise, this lecture does nothing. 10 nights of Muharram does nothing. The only way to change is you got to rewire the body. And the only way the body gets rewired is through habits. Whatever it is. There was a brother that I helped. And I looked at him and I said, do you treat your wife harshly? And he said, yeah. How did you know? And we talked about it. I said, if you treat your wife better, your business will double. 2 months later, he gives me this big hug. He says, you won't believe I'm loving my wife and now she's running to me. But my business also doubled. For the fathers and the grandfathers, do they run to you or do they run away from you? Are they excited to see you? For the kids and the teenagers and the 20-year-olds, do your parents look forward to seeing you? Or is it always a constant? Otherwise, the Imam will not look forward to seeing you if your character is such. What we're going to do is we're going to take a break. And for those that could stay, and if you could stay, I need you to give it your all. I don't care if there's one person or 10. We're going to do the meditation. The same meditation that we helped heal that person with vertigo. The other lady was the first time. Her dad passed away when she was 13. She hasn't seen her dad in her dream since he passed away. She hasn't seen him. 30 years later, he came to her in the Masjid at the camp, at the prayer hall, during that meditation. She gave the testimonial. She was blown away. Why? The presence of the heart. So we're going to tap into the heart. We're going to tap into one of the future realities that you want to do. Where do you want to be in 5 years, 10 years? Envision it as if it's real. Just like I did with that free coffee, you could do it with anything. And I could give you so many stories about that. Because if your thoughts have something to do with your future, why not think about your future and feel how it's going to, and give a feeling of how it's going to feel when it comes, and be grateful for it. Because Allah says, when you're grateful, I'll give you more. And that's the secret. That's the law of attraction. Is when you could close your eyes and you could see it just as clear as with your eyes open. The Prophet ﷺ saw all the idols gone before it ever happened, clear as day. All the Imams had this vision. What's your vision? Is it about something that you can't let go of the past? Or is it something about the future that you want for the sake of Allah? It's your choice on how you use your brain. You could either use it as a record of the past or a roadmap to the future. You decide. If you use it as a record of the past, you're going to come up with examples of not to help people, and you're going to lose out on opportunities every day. If you use it as a roadmap of the future, you'll start seeing things that other people don't see, and start helping people that others won't help. And then abundance comes. Then you'll attract the right spouse. Then you'll get into that school, the right school. Then things start happening. So these 10 nights that are coming, every night that you leave, every night you say, I'm going to change this about myself. Keep overcoming, and then you become somebody. And if you don't know what to change, ask your friends or ask your mom. Especially your mom or your dad. They'll tell you right away. Who's here with their parent? Who else? Okay, brother, what's your name? What's your name? Ali Akbar? Where's your dad? Is that your dad? How old are you? 16. Ali Akbar, what do you want to be? Computer engineer. Very good. So if you want to become, do you want to become a top computer engineer? Like, you know that guy I was telling you about, he dropped out, he was about to drop out of school. They were going to kick him out of school. I knew the principal of the school. She allowed him to stay. The next semester he became on the honor roll. I became so impressed. I have a friend, his name is Dr. Islami. He graduated high school when he was 14. Inshallah, one day his company will be worth $1 billion. He does fascinating work in the AI world, artificial intelligence. I say, you get a half-hour session with him once every 3 months. He does, and he gave him all this stuff to do, 12 hours a day to learn language, computer language. Your age, he's 17, he's a little bit older than you. His reality went from dropping out of school to being with this guy who could save his life because he made a change. So if you truly believe you can make a change to become better, to become a top engineer, would you take it? So do you make a niyyah, whatever that change is, you're going to do it for the sake of Allah? Okay, Dad, you have this one opportunity, take advantage of it. What's one thing you think your son should improve on? And he's going to do it no matter what. And you're not going to remind him to do it. How does that sound? You no longer have to be reminded to pray on time. Parents, if you keep reminding your kids to pray, stop. Parent yesterday came and said, you gave me this advice, you told me to stop reminding. And I did, and guess what? They started praying on their own. There's no more tension. So what's one thing, Dad?
Staying committed to what he says that he's going to do.
But what is it?
Sort of whether it's the salah or whether his dreams, aspirations, what he wants to do.
Okay, but pick one specific.
I think the first thing I would do is the salah.
Okay, so Dad, do you agree you're not going to remind him to pray anymore? For 30 days, you're going to pray on your own. Do you believe when the scholars tell us when you pray on time, you get married on time, you get in college on that time, you get that opportunity on time? That's why we pray. Be grateful. And if your prayer has everything to do with your future, and every prophet and every Imam Hussein's army, half of them were destroyed because of prayer. They told him, why are you praying now? We're at war. He said, if we're not here for prayer, then what's the point? And if your prayer, most of us pray, we don't feel the presence of Allah because we keep being reminded now we're praying for our parents. How about you pray because you want to be grateful, and when you're grateful, you get more. And then you pray, and you sit still before you start praying. You say, this is what I'm grateful for, Allah. Allah, help me with this. And then boom, something happens. And you notice that it's connected to your prayer. Guess what? You're going to always now look and run to your prayers instead of run away. And all you need to do is that needs to happen to you one time, and you look at your prayer differently. So if you believe that, why not to tell you, Dad, if you need to remind him to pray, it's like reminding him to get married or reminding him to go to college. It's like me having to remind you to go to work every day. You get it? So for 30 days, and your dad has my number. You're going to call me after 30 days, and if you do it, then we'll do the next step. How does that sound? And does it feel good that your dad's not going to nag you anymore? Okay. Salawat. Allah. We're going to take about a 10-minute break. There's some tea. For those that can stay, we're going to do a heart coherence meditation, and then we're going to do tuning into new potentials. And then you lay down for about 10 minutes, if that's okay. Okay? Yes? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I wanted to give a shout out to the donors in the room. Last week we got a call that there was a community, non-Muslims, that they needed back-to-school supplies. And I was busy, and I told her I'd get back to her. So 2 days ago I spoke to her, and she said we need hygiene stuff because the kids don't have.
Right.
And obviously we have some donations that are coming in. And yesterday we were at Walmart, and thanks to our extended family who pitched in and came with me, we went and bought the stuff, packed it today.
Yes.
And she was like, tomorrow, I said, no, there's no time. What time tonight? I said, I'm at mosque. She said, I'll come pick it up, at mosque. So while Yasin was going on, we delivered about 50, 60 hygiene and school supplies to non-Muslims.
Right.
These donations came from, within people in the room. And we don't realize that giving that $10, $20, the smile that you put on them.
Exactly.
And during Christmas, we do the same. We take
Right.
kids shopping on a shopping spree. These are non-Muslim kids. We get donations, and we just take them, and they go out and pick whatever they want.
Right.
$200 at Target.
Right. And it's just because you're giving it attention. There was a cop in Houston. She would go in these houses, and nobody knew how to read. these inner city homes. And she would sit and teach them how to read, but she was running out of books to give them. She goes and gets a call that there's a burglary alarm. A week later, she goes into this building and she says, I have to go around because the alarm went off. So the guy says, come on. And she goes, she says, what's going to happen to this building? What's going to be demolished? She goes in this room and it's filled with books. She goes, what are you guys going to do with these books? Oh, we're going to just throw them out. She goes, can I have it? She says, sure. She gave it attention. And I could share 1,000 stories like that. So what are you going to give attention to? What are we mostly giving attention to when we get tired? The next thing, I have to go. What's this? You got to stay present. And that's why we're going to do this meditation. So those that can, I know it's a little bit late, but give us about 10 minutes. We're going to set up and then come back in this room, inshallah. Thank you. Salawat. Salli ala.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد السلام عليك يا وارث آدم صفوة الله السلام عليك يا وارث نوح النبي الله السلام عليك يا وارث إبراهيم خليل الله السلام عليك يا وارث موسى كليم الله السلام عليك يا وارث عيسى روح الله السلام عليك يا وارث محمد حبيب الله السلام عليك يا وارث أمير المؤمنين ولي الله السلام عليك يا ابن محمد المصطفى السلام عليك يا ابن علي المرتضى السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة الزهراء السلام عليك يا ابن خديجة الكبرى السلام عليك يا ثار الله وابن ثاره والوتر الموتور أشهد أنك قد أقمت الصلاة وآتيت الزكاة وأمرت بالمعروف ونهيت عن المنكر وأطعت الله ورسوله حتى أتاك اليقين فلعن الله أمة قتلتك ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك ولعن الله أمة سمعت بذلك فرضيت به يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله أشهد أنك كنت نورا في الأسلاب الشامخة والأرحام المطهرة لم تنجسك الجاهلية بأنجاسها ولم تلبسك من مدلهمات ثيابها وأشهد أنك من دائم الدين وأركان المؤمنين وأشهد أنك الإمام البر التقي الرذي الزكي الهادي المهدي وأشهد أن الأئمة من ولدك كلمة التقوى وأعلام الهدى والأروة الوثقى والحجة على أهل الدنيا وأشهد الله وملائكته وأنبياءه ورسله أني بكم مؤمن وبي بكم موقن بشرائع ديني وخواتيم عملي وقلبي لقلبكم سلم وأمري لأمركم متبع صلوات الله عليكم وعلى أرواحكم وعلى أجسادكم وعلى أجسامكم وعلى شاهدكم وعلى غائبكم وعلى ظاهركم وعلى باطنكم السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله السلام عليك يا ابن نبي الله السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين السلام عليك يا ابن الحسين الشهيد السلام عليك أيها الشهيد وابن الشهيد السلام عليك أيها المظلوم وابن المظلوم لعن الله أمة قتلتك ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك ولعن الله أمة سمعت بذلك فرضيت به السلام عليكم يا أولياء الله وأحباءه السلام عليكم يا أصفياء الله وأوداءه. السلام عليكم يا أنصار دين الله. السلام عليكم يا أنصار رسول الله. السلام عليكم يا أنصار أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليكم يا أنصار فاطمة سيدة النساء العالمين. السلام عليكم يا أنصار أبي محمد الحسن بن علي الولي الزكي الناصح. السلام عليكم يا أنصار أبي عبد الله. بأبي أنتم وأمي طبتم وطابت الأرض التي فيها دفنتم وفزتم فوزا عظيما، فيا ليتني كنت معكم فأفوز معكم. السلام عليك يا أبا الفضل العباس ابن أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا ابن سيد الوصيين. السلام عليك يا ابن أول القوم إسلاما وأقدمهم إيمانا وأقومهم بدين الله وأحوتهم على الإسلام. أشهد لقد نصحت لله ولرسوله ولأخيك فنعم الأخ المواسي. فلعن الله أمة قتلتك ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك ولعن الله أمة استحلت منك المهارم وانتهكت حرمة الإسلام. فنعم الصابر المجاهد المحامي الناصر والأخ الدافع عن أخي المجيب إلى طاعة ربي الراغب فيما زهد فيه غيره من الثواب الجزيل والثناء الجميل. وألحقك الله بدرجة الآبائك في جنات النعيم. السلام عليك يا رسول الله. السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين. السلام عليك يا خديجة الكبرى. السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله الحسين وعلى 9 المعصومين من ذريتك علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والحجة بن الحسن. أجل الله فرجه وسهل الله مخرجه وظهوره. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كل وليك الحجة بن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا وذليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.
Yeah, no, just straight to the screen. The meditation, just so you know, will be about 20 minutes tops. I'll make sure it's going to be a shorter one. Nobody should come in now. All the doors should be shut, locked down, no disturbance. So for me, this is what I've really given attention to the past couple years. And when a mother or somebody calls me that somebody's on their deathbed, or somebody's got terminal, or somebody's just, and then we have a WhatsApp group and we either go on live or we get a picture. And it's something right now I've put as something I'm very, very dedicated to, but I'm very tough with it, especially with our healers. It's so important to get the energy right. And I just know the times that we hit the mark, and I know the times that we don't. I could feel it now, I could sense it. If we were doing a healing, it'd be a lot more strict in here, but we're not. So I was thinking about doing a healing this time. We did one last time, and the lady did have some spiritual experience. Is that sister here that we did the healing for? No, but she did have a mystical experience that came to her. So what we're going to do is we're going to be doing the tuning into new potentials. But before we do that, you have energy centers. And we're going to do a quick breath. It's a breath that they've been doing for about 5,000 years. And it's a breath that I give people that deal with severe anxiety, depression. And it's a breath that you do if you want to manifest things. You have a pineal gland in the back of your head. That's the God spot. That's the Wi-Fi signal. You have the negative, the positive, and it's a Wi-Fi signal. When that gets hit, that's when Allah gives you a download. And usually that download goes directly to the heart, and you have your mystical moment. People take drugs, or they do all types of different things to get that. You could self-induce it. And it's a breath that they've been doing for about 5,000 years. And I know definitely the prophets and the imams will teach people how to breathe, to overcome. And when you hit it, the mystical happens. And I've been around people that have hit it. I've hit it myself, and it's more real than anything else that's in this 3D world. And I've shared stories when you do hit it. I had this, one of my first experiences when a girl, she was like 20 years old when I was at this meditation retreat. She hit it and she had the mystical moment. It's okay, you could go back to where it was. I'll just go mute. That we're going to do first, and then we're going to do the meditation, and then we're going to do tuning into the new potentials. But tuning into the new potentials is, what is one thing you want to stop? Who is a person you want to stop being? What is something that you want to stop doing? Who do you no longer want to be anymore? Because you also have to give that attention. You wake up, what are the thoughts I'm not going to give attention to today? Share that person with the person next to you who you no longer want to be. Do you complain? Is everything a rainy day? Who do you no longer want to be? And if you have a problem thinking of it, raise your hand, we'll come up with something. Go ahead, share that with the person next to you. Who do you no longer want to be? Be humble. There's no judgment here. Let's not be full of ourselves thinking we're okay. Yes, boss. It's good, it's okay. There's a little bit of an echo. If you could remove the echo. No,
With
don't play
closed
it
eyes,
yet. Wait.
allow yourself to
Wait,
rest.
Abbas. Wait, please. So everybody have that? Okay. There's these brothers they're 19 and 20 now. They didn't want to go to college. The parents were dead against it, you know. So I told the kids, meditate, do this work, do this breath. And one of the breaths we're going to do today, do this dua, and then just pray to Allah. But keep going to college because you need to make your parents happy because you don't want to go do anything against your parents' will. So they did it. I gave them some tips in terms of their business. And their business took off while they're still in college, to the point where they were making $20,000 to $30,000 a month, and their parents' business they took over tripled. And their parents, after a year, and said, okay, yeah, that college, don't worry about it. And now we're talking about, okay, how do we go from this mark of 20 to 30 grand to, okay, how do you hit 100 grand a month to 200 grand a month? And now what do you want to do to give back? And me and Hajj Hassanin love these brothers. They're spiritual and so on. And he sent me a text, and I shared it yesterday in the PD. Said, ever since I started doing these meditations and these prayers, and I started praying on my time, my whole life has changed. And all you need to do is experience that one time. You know, I always share this story. There's a brother who wanted to commit suicide. I had him do this work. What do you want to do? I want to work for the state. I got fired from my job because of COVID. I have no money. I'm not married. I said, okay, what are you going to give attention to? Who do you want to be? Who do you no longer want to be? Will you do this work for 30 days? If it takes you 10 years to be the person that you are and this resentment, it's going to take some time to overcome yourself, right? You got to do the work. A lot of people want change. They don't want to do the work. So anyways, he did it. He calls me 3 days later. He says, Brother Hussein, you told me to ask God to show you signs. And all I see is Cadillac. I see Cadillacs on the TV. I see Cadillacs when I'm driving. I see Cadillac in my dream. I don't want a Cadillac. I just want a job, please. He has a problem with unemployment. He calls them, waits on the phone for 3 hours. He connects with his supervisor. She falls in love with him. She says, come work for me. He gets a state job within a week. Calls me and says, Brother Hussein, I can't believe I got my state job. He goes to pick up his laptop from downtown Detroit, and he takes a picture of himself behind the wall where he's picking up the laptop, and it's from the Cadillac building. Can he ever go back to the person that he was? No. We have these stories of the Quran, of people overcoming themselves. We have prophets of God who are praying and asking Allah. And then they question Allah, how is this going to happen? Allah says, I'll just do it. Don't worry. I created you from nothing. You think I can't do this for you? And I'm blown away from other things that people have told me what they've been able to manifest. So if you truly believe in this work, why not wake up every day and do this? Pray with your heart opened. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick breath. We're going to try to hit the pineal gland. We won't, it's okay. And then we're going to do a guided meditation for 10 minutes. And then after the 10 minutes, it'll be paused, and then you'll hear a sound, and then that's when I tell you to lay down. And then I'm going to take the meditation from there, and then you just surrender. So you have the one thing that you don't want to do, who you don't want to be, correct? Tell the person next to you, who do you want to start being? What is a better version of yourself that you want to be? Who do you want to become? What do you want to give attention to? Share it with the person next to you. What do you want to believe about yourself? It's one thing. Who would like to share? Brother, what's one thing you want to start believing about yourself?
I'm just empty.
No. So, what do you want to start believing in yourself? You're not empty. You're filled with Allah's nur. You're filled with the Prophet's nur. What do you want to start believing in yourself? What is one thing that you want to start believing in yourself? Who do you want to be? What do you want to become?
Better.
How? What's one specific thing? You want to be a better husband, a better parent, better in business? What is one thing you want to be better in? How? Towards who? Pick a person. You need to be more specific. How about towards your family? So you be specific, and that's what you're going to envision. How are you going to be better towards your family? Sisters, of course I'm going to pick on you. What's one better version that you want to be of yourself? What's one thing that you want to be and become? I'm sorry? Okay, you want to be more grateful. And how do you become grateful? Is when you don't complain. So when things don't go your way, are you going to complain? No, because any setback is a setup for something bigger. When things don't go your way, it's because of Allah. And when things go your way, it's because of Allah. Why do you complain? You know, people say, I didn't get that job. Then the angel showed you, if you would have got that job, you would have been hit by a bus. We saved you. Isn't it? Sister, what's one thing you want to become?
I want to be able to share what I'm learning, and I want to give knowledge back.
You want to give back. Give that attention every day. Allah will open up doors. We do this with everything. I shared this story with Brother Anayat. We got the free coffee. Hajj Hassanin, we needed $250,000 to finish the girls' cabins. We had no money. Everything was maxed out. We always have no money. We spend everything. But this day we were really tough. So he prayed. Said, Allah, you bring it. And he gave it attention. He closed his eyes. He did the meditation. The next day somebody comes and says, I'm here from Lebanon. I did istikhara to come here. I don't know why I'm here. But somebody told me about your camp. Can you take me for a tour? Takes him and says, I'm going to put this here, the prayer hall here, the dining hall here, the pool here. He looks at him and he says, how much money do you need? Hajj Hassanin never mentioned money to him. Never. He says, now I know why the istikhara came good. The $250,000. All he did is give it attention. I'm telling you, there's no other way to live. I don't know any other way to live. Why would I give attention to anything else? Let alone, stop being a victim. What's a victim? Is when you allow yourself to be emotionally drained because of somebody else. That's what a victim is. Stop. If somebody is abusing you, stop being a victim. It's a choice. I don't care what you tell me. Remove this victim mentality. You're a victor. You're not a victim. Okay, so we got one thing that you want to stop being, one thing you're going to start being. We're good there. So now what we're going to do is the breath. We're going to go a little bit quicker. You're going to take a deep breath through your nose, fill up your gut, and you're going to let it out. Okay? Let me get my phone. Now this is the Wim Hof breath. This is a person who could 120-degree weather, Mount Sahara Desert, no water, goes Mount Everest with only shorts, could hold his breath, could go under the Arctic Ocean, could be in ice-cold water, raise his body temperature through this breath. I haven't been sick in 3 to 4 years because of this breath. Plus it's cold showers and so on. I could share some really crazy stories, but because of time, I'll let it go. But this breath, it increases your immune system and it makes you very present. This is a breath that I use to help people with addiction. I removed taking them to rehab centers. I replaced it with this breath. And I'm blown away with the last 7 people, how they've overcome their drug addiction. If I get to about 20 to 30 of them, then I'll be more public about it. But I'm blown away. But I have done one YouTube video interviewing somebody that I've helped with it. Wim Hof also got injected with a poison, and he neutralized it through this breath. So after we do the breath, the 30 breaths, then you hold. You're going to try to hold your breath for as long as you can. Just close your eyes and just envision something. And then I'll tell you to breathe. And then when you take the breath, you not down, but up. And that's your mark. And then you're going to hold. And then you're going to squeeze that spinal fluid. Instead of it going down, it's like a straw, you're going to squeeze up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze all the way up until it hits the back right here. And then you let go. And then you're going to do it again. Mark and then squeeze. And then let go. Let's practice. Take a breath. Now squeeze. Squeeze a little bit more. Here, and then let go. Everybody know what they're going to do after we hold your breath? Okay, good. So you're going to hold 30 breaths. You're going to do 30 breaths. You're going to then hold for as long as I tell you. That little monkey brain is going to tell you, breathe, you can't do it. Don't listen to it. Don't worry, you're not going to die. Nobody's ever died from meditating. Then when you breathe is when I tell you, and then you do where you push the breath up. That's your target, and then squeeze. I'll guide you. Tell the person next to you what you're about to do. Go. So everybody know what they're going to do? Everybody should be doing this. You guys are all in? Can you tell the person next to you, you're going to stay present for the next 15 minutes. You're not going to worry about tomorrow. You're not going to worry. And you're just going to fall. Just be present. Can you tell the person you're going to give it your best? Go ahead. Okay. You ready? Brothers, you ready? So we're going to take 30 deep breaths. Go to my stopwatch. You're going to take a breath. No, I'm sorry. You're going to take a breath to your belly. And then regular release. Let's go. Regular release. Deep in. Has to hit your belly, not your chest, your belly. Let's go. Let go. Come on, that's 4. Come on. Let go. That's 5. Let's go. That's 6. Come on. 7. Let's go. Come on, we're going to pull the mind out of the body. Let's go. Come on. 10. Come on. 11. Come on. 'You're going to feel lightheaded. It's okay. Just going to be present. We're at 20. Keep going. Come on, 10 more. Give everything you got. 21. Come on. 3 more. Let's go. Come on, 2 more. Come on, 1 more. We're going to go 1 more. Come on. All the way in. Let it all out. And hold. Just hold and close your eyes. Just be. Go to anything that you want. Envision whatever you want. Just go. with no time, no space, no body. Just be wherever you want to go. Just hold. Just hold. You're okay. Don't listen to that monkey. Just be. A little bit longer. You're almost there. All right, eyes open. Take a breath. That's your target. Now squeeze. Squeeze a little bit more. A little bit more. Through your throat. Back. Let it go. Again. Take a breath. Now squeeze. Don't breathe. Just push that fluid up. Come on. What are you bringing? A little bit more. Push, push, push. And then let go. That's how you do the breath. Who was able to hold their breath all the way until I told them to breathe? Raise your hand. How many of you were able to hold your breath? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many of you were kind of close? How long do you think, who was able to hold their breath the whole time in this group? How long do you think you held it for? 15 seconds? 15 or 20? What does that say? 1 minute and 24 seconds. If somebody would have told you that you could hold your breath for 1 minute and 24 seconds, what would you have told them? Impossible, right? How many other things do you think that are impossible that are just not true? The Shahada of Imam Hussein was to prove how limitless we are. We just don't know how to connect that dot. Okay, now we're going to do a 10-minute meditation. You're going to close your eyes. You're going to hear us and just follow. You have energy centers. You have 7 of them. You're just going to bless them. Just follow. It's a quick guided meditation. After that's over, then I'll take over for about a few minutes, and then we'll conclude. When I tell you to lay down, everybody lays down. That'll be the second part. If we could close the lights and start the video, Abbas, please.
With closed eyes, allow yourself to rest comfortably into your breathing. Feel yourself within your body, relaxing fully. Take a deep breath in fully into your belly and relax into the exhale. Feel the support beneath you as you sit comfortably, connecting with the environment around you. Become aware of the sounds you may be hearing. Take a full breath in and let it all out. Allow your body to release what it no longer needs to hold on to. Let it go, flowing out and away. Begin to sense the space around you. Breathe in this space and become aware of the rise and fall of your breath. Breathe down to where the weight of your body rests, below the base of your spine, to your root, your chakra of belonging. Breathe into your root. Let it soften and gently expand on your breath, taking in nourishment and life force energy. Allow your root to connect down to grounds below, deep into the earth. And envision a light of glowing red energy surrounding the base of your spine, empowering, embodying, grounding you in the here and now. Let your root take what it needs. Allow your awareness to move up just below your belly button, your chakra of emotional intelligence, choice, creativity, movement, and pleasure. Feel yourself breathe into this area. Let it gently soften and expand on your breath, taking in nourishment and life force energy. And envision a glowing orange light enter as you breathe, balancing, empowering, motivating. Moving your awareness up to the soft area below your breastbone, to your solar plexus, your chakra of personal power. Breathe into here, allowing your solar plexus to soften and expand on your breath. And invite in the color yellow. Bathe your solar plexus with sunshine, replenishing, restoring, nurturing, letting your solar plexus take what it needs. Focus now on the center of your chest, to your heart, your chakra of self-development and unconditional love. Gently breathe into your heart, letting it soften and expand on your breath. And invite in green light, the color of spring. Bathe your heart center with nourishment, renewal, healing. Let your heart take what it needs. Moving your attention up to your neck, to your throat, your chakra of self-expression and personal will. Allow your throat center to soften, expand, envisioning a blue glowing energy. Breathe this energy into your throat center, clearing, opening, softening, freeing self-expression and creativity. Let your throat take what it needs. Move your focus now up to the center of your forehead, between your eyebrows, to your third eye, your chakra of wisdom and intuition, gently allowing it to soften, expand, and breathe. Invite in indigo, the velvety color of night sky. Bathe your third eye with indigo, soothing, balancing, bringing clarity, insight, and understanding. Let your third eye take what it needs. Moving up now to the top of your head, to your crown, your chakra of oneness, allowing your crown to breathe. And gently, in a warm light, softly bathing your crown, balancing, restoring, harmonizing. Let your crown take what it needs. Now feel your entire body as if you were your own skin, feeling the entire outline of your body. You may feel some excess energy radiating out. With focus and intention, direct this energy to your belly, as you can store it there for whenever you may need it. And before you end this meditation, hold yourself for a few moments with loving kindness for the beautiful, unique being that you are.
Lay down flat. Everybody, lay down flat. Keep your eyes closed. Everybody off their chairs. And lay down flat, please. Everybody. Just surrender. Just let go. The belief, the perception that you wanted to change about yourself. It doesn't serve you to continue believing this way. Make a decision to let go. Go on. Become empowered. surrender that belief to Allah. Let it go. Give it up. Just let go. What do you want to believe in? What do you want to believe about yourself? About your life? And how would that feel? Move there. Move that state of being towards it. Embrace it. Allow your body to be lifted. Allow your body to be liberated to a new future. Become greater than this environment, greater than your body. Move into your greatness. Be empowered. Have the courage. Be invincible. Feel be in love with life. How will you live from this state of being? When you believe this, what choices would you make? What behaviors are you going to start demonstrating? What experiences can you observe from here? How would they feel? To be healed, to be free, to believe in yourself, to believe in possibility. Let yourself go. Feel love in your heart. Bless this future with your energy. You're connected to a new destiny, new possibility. Invest in this future. Be defined by it instead of the past. Open your heart. Allow your body to become more moved by your own inward experience. Give it up. Allow Allah to take over in a way that's right for you. Take your left hand, place it onto your heart. Now bless your body. Let it be lifted to a new mind. Bless your life. Let it be an extension of your mind. And bless your future. It never becomes your past again. And Bless your past, that it turns into wisdom. Bless all the adversities in your life, so it's going to turn you into greatness. Bless your soul, that it wakes you up from this dream. Bless the divine that's within you, that moves within you, that moves through you, that moves all around you, that shows you the cause of your existence. Feel Allah's mercy. Embrace it. Give thanks to Allah for your life. Be grateful for it, for that you have received it. Memorize this feeling. Be aware of it. You're a new body, new environment, a whole new time. Now just go and be that person. Let go. gentle for yourself. Be gentle to your soul. Made a decision to be here. You loved yourself enough to do this. When you're ready, take your seats. Just be gentle to your soul. Just be gentle. Slow, slow, slow. Just no talking. Just be gentle. Just be gentle to your soul. You know, every time we do this, and we do it the community back in Dearborn, everybody wants to share after. And it's always stories that people come and tell me. You know, I told you the story of the vertigo. There's one lady who had severe acne. And then next week she came. She goes, look at my face. She showed a before and after picture. So this is a new body. I said, I can't believe this. Those are side effects. The direct effect is if you felt, do you feel a little bit better than when you first came here? Doesn't it feel good? If it made you feel good, why not wake up every morning or at night, whenever you want, and do this every day? And you start taking control of your destiny. And you no longer need that fast food or that movie or that relationship to feel good. Even if it's for 10 minutes a day, there's no such thing as a bad meditation. In meditation, you're just becoming familiar with yourself, your true self. That child that's within you that used to laugh, that used to enjoy all the present. Look at those two kids over there. They're loving life. They take a phone, they play with it. There's nothing wrong. They're not in a rush to go anywhere. Where's that inner child that's within you? It's the last time you felt joy. And that's the whole point, for you to tap into Allah. And then just watch the miracles that come. Who would like to share anything that they felt? Come on, this always happens. And then after everybody comes, or I get a text or an email and say, Brother Hussein, I told you there's a sister that had been meditating for a week. She kept failing her exam to get into nursing school. And her mom told her to give up. You just can't do it. You're not smart enough. And you get that text, Brother Hussein, you won't believe what happened. I passed. Or there was a sister who kept failing her state exam. So what do you have to get? She goes, I got to get a 70. So can you meditate over 78? So, but the exam is tomorrow. So I said, meditate tonight and don't move until you see that 78 where you convince your body. The next day she takes the exam. I told her, envision you talking to the whole group next week and telling them what happened. She puts it on the board. She says, you won't believe what happened. I got a 78. And the next week she's talking to everybody. What do you want to give attention to? Who is that person you're going to walk out and be them? Don't allow any negative thought to come into your subconscious. If you're interested in this work, I'm telling you, I've seen people who've been 10 years paralyzed. They walked right in front of me, brain tumors. There's people in Orlando that I've met, that I've connected with, the way they've healed their children from leukemia, from all different types of ailments. And all they're doing is connecting towards Allah. Do some people not heal and they die? Yeah, their soul is ready to go. It's not about that. Just feeling the love of Allah. That's it. Anything else, that's just a bonus. You don't need it. Imam Hussein alayhi salam had more joy in his 2 rakat prayer than anything you're going to do all year. He doesn't need your pity, but he would love for you to pray and to be on his side and to continue this battle on of the self. That is the big jihad, the jihad of the self, jihad al-akbar. Anybody would like to share an experience? Feels good, huh? Before you came in, you were in a rush to go somewhere. You become present. Where is there to go? What's wrong with right now? That's the love of life. People say, why do I wake up at 4:30 in the morning? That's my time to create. And I give myself 2 hours to overcome myself, and I try not to move until I am that person. Sometimes it takes 20 minutes, sometimes it takes 2 hours. The rest of the day I serve. But man, do I wake up excited. And now the stuff that I do now, I'm just blown away. And then when I speak to the scholars about this, they say, this is nothing. You should see what these scholars can do. And I'm curious about that dimension. And you've heard, if I share some stories, you've heard of them. But you really don't think it's possible for you. It is. And I've seen it, and I've witnessed it. And it's all that you need. It's just to tap into that divinity within you. That's it. Imam Ali alayhi salam talks about that. Anybody would like to share anything that they felt? Yes, brother.
I think I'll just share the feeling that I'm having. I feel like I just had a quadruple espresso.
Okay. He feels like he had a quadruple espresso. Okay.
What I'm trying to say is that I'm very excited to be and be that self.
That future self, yes. And why not? Just leave the old self behind. That's where the healing comes. That's where new possibilities come. That's where new. Anybody else would like to share? Anything at all? Yes? You feel lighter. It's great. Anybody else? Yeah. At peace. If I gave you a magic stick, in one, you're able to get as much money and manifest whatever you want. But I gave you another magic stick that just always allows you to have peace. Which one would you choose? Peace. Because what if those other things don't bring you peace? Did you need anything else to bring you that peace that's within you right now? So why not keep doing it? Because everybody's thinking money, relationships, vacations. This is the vacation. Isn't it? That guy in the beach that's hanging out, meditating, and the millionaire comes and says, well, I'm working for 30 years so I could come retire and be on this beach. But that guy says, I'm already here. Why not just come now? Why do you think you have to anticipate something? I'm humbled. You guys brought it. I was watching you guys and I said, mashallah, this reminded me of what we did at the camp. And I was blown away with people, with the things that they did. After a couple days, we just did one session and it feels good. You do this 2 or 3 times, the mystical really starts to happen. I encourage you, follow Joe Dispenza's work. He's the best in the country at this. Pick a dua that you like, dua kamal, dua mashru'. I love dua ahad. It's a dua that I always fall back, whatever it is. It could be, it doesn't even have to be a dua. There's no judging. But do this, then pray. When you were to pray, if you were to pray right now 2 rakats, it'd feel a lot different. Nothing, you're just going to be present. You're not thinking about the past, not worried about the future. And that's the point. Never rush into your prayers. Stop everything. Just like the way Imam Hussein stopped the battle. Don't allow anybody to interfere at that time. That's your time to create, and you get 5 times to do it. I want to thank you guys. I really love coming here. There's outside forces that wants to cause division. The anger isn't the opposite of love, it's the separation of it. Don't allow it. Don't even give it an ear. Let it go. This is a masjid. This is not anybody's place. Nobody owns this. It's a masjid. It's a place where you come and worship Allah. Don't allow anybody to tell you any differently. No division. People want to come, if people don't, who cares? Just come and bring it. Just do the work. Make your house a masjid. Everywhere the Prophet went, he said it was a masjid for him. Create that peace within you. Stop being that person you no longer want to be and become that person that you want to be. Give that attention every day. Overcome, and then you become. So much to share, but I think you get the point. So books, Joe Dispenza, any of his books, any of his meditations. I'm part of his healing circle. I'm close friends now with his author. And I'm just blown away with the conversations that we have. And they all say your faith is incredible. And that's one thing that I'm just so blessed that we have this faith. They have the download to manifest. We have the upload to prepare ourselves to go back to Allah. Nobody else has it except us. I promise you that. So books like Becoming Supernatural, You Are the Placebo, I would start there. If you're basic in terms of just getting started, there's no such thing as a bad meditation. Start with Headspace. If you don't want to start with that, follow Wim Hof. Just do the breath 2-3 times a day. And that's what I have the addicts do. They do it whenever they get the addiction that they want to do it. Or somebody who's addicted to watching haram or addicted to whatever. They just pause and they say, okay, for 3 minutes I'm going to do the breath. I'm going to take a cold shower. SubhanAllah, that feeling goes away. If they do that for 30 days and they give me their all, they've overcome their addiction. They don't need pills. They don't need a rehab center. They don't need $30,000 a month, and their mom stops crying. I'm tired of seeing parents and mothers especially cry over their son when they are lost to sin. I kept praying for Allah to show me a way. That's where I got introduced to Wim Hof. When that father healed himself, when he prayed to Abu Fadl Abbas, I said, Allah, show me how that works. He showed me Joe Dispenza. And now this other stuff that I'm seeing, I'm just blown away with it. We're limitless. We're dimensional beings. Don't allow anybody to tell you any differently. Just do something. Leave here. Say, I'm going to start doing something a little bit different. I don't care what it is. And I promise you're going to start seeing the world differently. You don't see the world as what it is, but who you are. Islamically, I'm a big follower of Sakalashvar, Sheikh Shumali. Western, I love Wayne Dyer. I like Tony Robbins. But I'm all in on Joe Dispenza. I've seen this person save thousands, tens of thousands of lives. Hospitals are coming in and saying, come to the children's hospital. He's not touching them. He's bringing his group, praying over them. He's seeing 50% change in these kids. Terminal, some of them. Blindness, lupus, leukemia. I don't care what it is. Just look up Joe Dispenza testimonial and you'll see a regular person that looks like us and you're going to say that's possible. You want to do new things? Learn new things. That's what brings new connections to the brain. I encourage you to do that, please. Thank you. I'll be back probably. We're going to keep doing this. Brother Anayat, I made a commitment to him, between me and Hajj Hassanin. We're going to keep coming. We also want to do a camp. We've done a camp before. We had about 70 of the youth, teenagers. We want to do a meditation camp for the adults, couples camp, parent camp. We do a camp and we do this for 3 days. We do walking meditations that you do this eyes open. You don't have to do this eyes closed. You could become aware, eyes open. You could do this while you're driving. It's really cool. When you live this way, look, I say this. I've been happily married for 13 years. My wife's probably been happily married for 4. And it's really when I became in tune with myself, because I was so busy doing this work, other work that I was doing. And I have such a long way to go. But man, do I believe in possibility. And I want to show as many human beings I can, Muslims and non-Muslims, in their own possibility, that they're truly limitless. And I keep meeting people with these limited beliefs that they just cannot do it. And I'm going to spend the rest of my life showing them otherwise. And I've given that niyyah between me and Allah. So we have things to come. And I'm really, every time I come here, I always say, you know what, I can't wait to come again. I've even been talking to Hajj Hassanan. And honestly, this camp that I did recently in July, and where I really focused more on the adults, because usually I don't give any attention to the adults, but I gave them 7:30 p.m. every day, and we did this every day for 2 weeks. And they showed up. And then when they started seeing effects and changes, they just kept coming. That inspired me to do meditation camps for adults. So that's something that we may be doing. I don't care if I get 20, 30. Just come in, give me everything you got for 3 days. I'm going to show you things that you've never seen before, I promise you. Just teach you how to tap into your heart. So thank you. I look forward to keep coming back, inshallah. Thank you. Salawat. If you could just take the chairs, everybody take their own chair.